Welcome back.
Good to be back. Thanks for letting me re-enroll. I'm grateful.
You're an eye twitch away from leaping across this table and ripping my throat out with your teeth. I get why you're upset. After what happened.
Stay behind me.
Hey, you guys!
I'm Cypher.
Your new dean.
It is time that humans learn that what runs through our veins is true
Vought blue.
Nothing good will come of this. Nothing ever does.
We're gonna burn the school down to the studs.
Let's go.
I will be preparing you to push your powers to their fullest potential. You are not students. You're soldiers, and you will fight.
Bless your hearts and hold on to your butts.
We should run.
What we should be doing is disrupt, break shit. Whatever we do it together.
What really happened to my son?
You have no idea what you're dealing with.
Let's go. 3, 2. Sophomore year is gonna be lit.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. The boys released a new trailer for Gen V Season 2, so we'll break it all down. This is all meant to take place between the events of The Boys Season 4 and The Boys Season 5, like right before. I think the same way they did with Gen V Season 1, where like the end of the season led directly into the next season of The Boys. The important thing to remember is that The Boys Season 5 is the final season of the main show, but Gen V will continue on for a couple more seasons, however long Amazon wants to keep making it, however long those milk sponsorships keep coming in. They're also doing a prequel spin-off show for Jensen Ackles' Soldier Boy in Stormfront, set during the 1950s too. So like there's other Boys universe characters that will get their own shows in the future too. If you're brand new to the channel, of course I will do videos for all of them as they wind up releasing. They didn't say when the Soldier Boy TV show is going to release, probably not till about 2 years after The Boys Season 5 at the rate they're going.
Hey, Jared, we got work to do. Again.
Okay.
But the way they're explaining Gen V Season 2, the vibe shift is essentially going from more of like an evil X-Men situation with the X-Mansion and all the kids coming to study, testing out Vought's products, or like the events of Season 1 where they were building the anti-Compound V weapon that Butcher still has at the end of The Boys Season 4. There is actually a parody of the X-Men and an evil version of Professor X inside the Boys universe in the comics. They were called the G-Men, which is where I think they came up with the name Godolkin University for G-Men in the comics. But as you could probably tell, the vibe shift in Season 2 is distinctly more from, say, like evil X-Men to Magneto's Brotherhood of Mutants because they're so anti-human. Like, the whole idea is they're turning the school into an anti-human army of superheroes for Homelander to use to take over humanity, take over the planet. Which is really just Sister Sage's Phase 2 of her plan, which is another big Marvel reference too. Like at the end of The Boys Season 4, she said, time for Phase 2, as in time for the next phase of Marvel movies that we're going to be parodying during Season 5. What a coincidence they're doing so many X-Men Easter eggs during Gen V, and we're getting ready for like the X-Men mutant era of the Marvel movies after Secret Wars in the next couple years. The official synopsis reads, as the rest of America adjusts to Homelander's Iron Fist, back at Godolkin University, the mysterious new dean, who's called Cypher, it sounds like he has abilities of premonition, or it has something to do with him sensing probabilities because he tells Marie what she's most likely to do, and it sounds like he's actually witnessing it happen, like he's witnessing probabilities. Preaches a curriculum that promises to make students more powerful than ever, turning them basically against humans, using them as an army against humans. Cade and Sam are celebrated as heroes, while Marie, Jordan, and Emma reluctantly return from college, burdened by months of trauma and loss, because they're going to explain what happened to Andre. In real life, the actor passed away between seasons, and they had to basically rejigger the season because they're not recasting the role, and they wrote it in, and it's why his father, Polarity, seems like he's turning against Vought and blaming them for Andre's death, and will help the kids at some point during the season. But parties and classes are hard to care about with war brewing between humans and supes. That's Homelander's war, basically, to conquer the world, both on and off campus. The gang learns of a secret program that goes back to the founding of Godolphin University that may have larger implications than they realize, and somehow Marie is part of it, like her basic blood-bending ability. That's basically her power. She's a bloodbender, Avatar The Last Airbender style. So you can let me know in the comments what you think that mysterious secret is behind the actual founding of Godolphin University and how that ties back to Marie.
What runs through our veins is true Vought blue.
But as you can see, the new dean is played by Hamish Linklater, who you probably remember from a bunch of different things. He's an amazing actor, and I love the creepy vibes coming from him here. He's probably super powerful, even without seeming like it, like soft-spoken, but the really soft-spoken villains are usually the most terrifying ones. The way they're playing this scene, Marie says, "Thank you for letting me re-enroll," but because they knew what they tried to do, I think the reason why they let them re-enroll is because they want every superhero they can get, so they're willing to overlook them rebelling against Vought, essentially. The Amira Adult Rehabilitation Center is the prison that Vought sent them to that we saw them at the end of Season 1. Them in that underground medical facility prison. They're getting way better with their special effects too because you see Jordan morph between the different versions, male and female. They actually call this Jorphing because it's kind of like morphing. If you're talking about comps to X-Men characters and powers, she's not quite like Morph or like Mystique though, because she can only change between the male and female forms, but the different forms do have different powers technically. Seems like they have power dampening collars that they put on them when they're inside the prison. We see Emma inside her cell. She's like their version of Ant-Man and Giant Man. She can go big and small. Then they have a bit of a funny twist where Kate welcomes them back to school, letting them out of the armored car. And I think the way they're playing this is that she is so traumatized herself that even though she sided with Vought, it was because of her PTSD. And she basically just wanted to feel this family so badly that she was afraid to rebel against them. And because she has such a deep-seated desire to be with her friends, to have a found family of her own, she's willing to just completely mentally overlook all the craziness of Season 1. Some of you may have gone to school with people like this in real life, where like really crazy stuff happens one semester, then a couple months go by and you all come back to school and the weird person tries to pretend like they didn't do all this really weird, messed up stuff. Like, can we just forget about that and move on together? That's basically what she's doing here. Like, can we just forget about all that crazy stuff that happened last season so we can be friends again?
Hey, you guys!
Their new slogan at the school, "Exceed Your Limits, Make America Super Again," is a Make America Great Again reference. But in the context of the universe, it's Homelander's slogan, like he's trying to get superheroes to band together that he can use as an army to take over the planet. Notice there are banners of Sam and Kate behind him up on stage as he's giving the presentation at the beginning of term. The idea is that Vought was lauding them as heroes because they sided with Vought against their team. Notice how they're segregating humans. I didn't think there were that many actual humans that went to Godolphin. I figured that all of them were actually superheroes in some right, or just hadn't gotten their powers yet, if they didn't have superpowers when they entered the school. But the new dean sounds like Magneto, Brotherhood of Mutants, treating humans like second-class citizens, basically. Notice he uses the line, "runs through our veins, true Vought blue," because Compound V is blue, or the regular version of Compound V. Seems like they're going to get into Sam's backstory. Remember, his brother was played by Patrick Schwarzenegger and was killed because of the experiments during Season 1. Polarity implies that he's going to go against Vought, blaming them for the death of his son Andre. There's a brief montage of the team sneaking around, but also just doing regular kid stuff, partying in between classes. Like, life goes on. Like I said during the official synopsis, they try to make it seem like life goes on, but all the regular kids as part of the team from Season 1 just can't deal because it's so crazy. And they wind up finding about this darker history behind the school, the origin, and how Marie is tied to that. Brand new Dean Cypher introduces them to what looks like the training facility where they just wreck each other using all their powers, just completely let off the chain. Not totally sure which superhero this is or who he's meant to be a parody of, but the hammer makes it seem like he's a parody of Thor. Whosoever holds this hammer and has enough compound V in their veins, if they be worthy, shall possess the powers of Thor parodies. Seems like the school cooks up this UFC Ultimate Fighting Championship where they just battle each other using their powers, just completely going off the chain. You remember during season 1, the actual school ranking was like a real big deal, like who is the top superhero at Godolkin? It seems like this is the evolution of that, but it's more tied to actual combat. And it kind of seems like the dean is making them fight each other. Seems like Sam gets in a fight with some of the other kids of the group. Jordan absolutely cold clocks Kate. We get a little firecracker. There's obviously crossover with characters from the main Boys series.
Bless your hearts and hold on to your butts.
My guess is the Deep here with the hood is actually in the middle of some kind of fraternity initiation, like it's tied to some fraternity activity, like he used to go to Godolkin at some point. When they do the Instagram video of Marie talking, saying it's going to be lit, notice some of the names that are actually in her chat, like Vindicated Queen is a Queen Maeve reference. Maybe we'll see her come back during season 5. There were all kinds of rumors about why Queen Maeve actually left the show, like the actress was supposedly having some issues. We will see how much of that winds up being true. But as they say, new season coming September 17th. There'll be 8 episodes just like season 1, which means that The Boys season 5 will not drop until 2026, which I think we all assumed. Like they're still in the middle of working on that a lot. Like it takes a long time for them to finish seasons. Everybody let me know in the comments too, which other spin-offs do you want them to do from the main show? Just because there's so much untapped potential with The Boys comics, stuff they haven't even gotten to yet. I've already done videos for a couple of the teaser trailers they released for The Boys Season 5, so I'll link them at the end of this. But if you spotted any other Easter eggs or references that I didn't talk about during this video, write them below in the comments. There are a bunch of other trailers that dropped this weekend. I'm working on a new Peacemaker Season 2 trailer that should post tomorrow. Be sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss that. Everybody click here for all my Boys Season 5 trailer videos, and click here for my brand new Stranger Things Season 5 trailer video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.